How's it, YouTube? Welcome to Vegapunk's Lab, your South African source of anime chatter. One Piece chapter 982 is out, so let's do what we do and talk about it. Okay, so chapters like this really speak to me. I love when Oda writes a chapter to set things up, while not really giving anything away. It's fun because we as a community get to speculate about what happens next, what did or didn't make sense, or what this could mean for our headcanon matchups. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Let's begin with the cover story. It shows Beige, Gotti, Lola and Chiffon trying to escape from the Marines. And what's really funny here is that Gotti is carrying Lola, but Chiffon is the one carrying Beige. I'm pretty sure that this will all end with Pound attending Lola and Gotti's wedding, so right now there's not much more I want to say about it. At the top of the chapter, we begin with the world's strongest creature himself, Kaido. Black Maria has decided to stick around instead of going out with the rest of the Tobiropo and searching for Yamato. And well, yeah, I guess we know who's polishing the world's strongest pipe. Hint hint. Honestly, this is really funny to me because Oda explicitly stated that he's not really aiming on writing any romance into the story. But Ho's life? Yeah, that cracks the nod. Anyway, Kaido and Orochi are celebrating when Kanjuro shows up. He's apparently killed the subordinates of Kaido who tried to stop him. Now, while I want to question the security here, I actually feel like this makes sense. I think many of us scaled Kanjuro down because he was such an idiot as an artist when he was part of the Scabbards, but more and more I'm starting to realize how strong he actually is. I'm pretty sure this applies to all the Scabbards. If they don't run into King, Queen, Jack, Apu or the Tobiropo, they should make it here fairly easily. Kanjuro informs the two that plans to stop the alliance have failed, and Orochi immediately panics, ordering an execution stand to be set up on stage so that they can execute Momo, thereby killing the last remaining Kozuki, bringing an end to their miserable history. Two things stick out to me here. Firstly, Momo isn't the last surviving Kozuki. Hiyori is still out there and also wants Orochi's head. I wonder if having Momo isn't going to be used later to bring Hiyori to Onigashima. Killing Momo right now seems a bit pointless unless you use it as leverage. The other thing is, I wonder what killing an 8-year-old in front of everyone will do to the men's morale. I mean, as far as everyone knows, Momo should be 28 years old right now. So how does Orochi explain this to his men? And yeah, I get that he looks just like he did back then, but how many of Kaido and Orochi's men knew what he looked like in the first place? And why wouldn't they assume that Orochi just brought in a doppelganger? I mean, we've seen that they think his fears about the Kozuki clan are mostly just paranoia. I may be overthinking this, but I feel like executing Momo in this manner at this event may come back and bite Orochi in the butt, to be honest. And I mean, I don't think he'll succeed at this plan anyway. Next up, we head to Law Sub, where we see that the Scabbards who went with Law are still en route. Neko and Inu have a bit of a back and forth about Neko possibly being late, and Neko hangs up the call. Not much to see here. I think Oda is just reminding us that there are these guys as well, while Law explains the currents of Wano again. What I find really interesting is the conversation between Marco and Neko right after that. Apparently Marco happened to arrive at Wano at exactly the same time as Neko, and that whole mysterious message he sent with Neko to Luffy was simply this: I might be late, but I'll be there. Honestly, that's the most meh excuse to explain away Marco not coming immediately as I can think of. Look, maybe Marco somehow knew that the Shishibukai system would be abandoned, or he knew the exact time and day Weevil would arrive and he felt he could low diff him. Who knows? But I can't help but feel cheated by Oda here. Coincidentally, something that happens later in the chapter makes Marco being here right now so much more interesting, but I'll address that later. After this, we see an interaction between Sasaki and Denjiro. After Sasaki notes that he heard Denjiro wasn't coming, Denjiro quickly brushes him off and uses the fact that Sasaki still sees him as an ally to overwhelm him and chain him up. He then asks Sasaki how much he knows about Wano's history, showing him the Kozuki crest on his back. This interaction is fascinating to me. Firstly, and let's just get this out of the way, Denjiro has clearly never missed a gym session in his life because damn, his neck game is top tier. Secondly, I'm interested in the fact that he shows the Kozuki crest to Sasaki and we don't see him leave. One of the things we know about the Tobi-Roppo is that they aren't necessarily happy subordinates of Kaido and his crew, and I just wonder if Denjiro just leaves him here. No doubt this won't be the last time we see Sasaki, but I wonder if Denjiro might have tried to turn him to the Alliance's side. Things may be very interesting the next time we see these two men. Meanwhile, over at Team Kinemon, Chopper and Usopp have decided to attack Big Mom, and well, it's gone exactly as expected. Not a scratch on the Emperor. And look, I can see why some people may think Big Mom is bruised because of how she's drawn, but honestly, I just think she's dusty after a tank shell directly hit her. Other than that, I think she's totally fine. Nami decides to just book it, and this is just the kind of thing that I love to see in One Piece. The three weakest Straw Hats are dealing with a Yonko on their own, and you know only hilarity will ensue. I wonder though, if this is when Nami will get Prometheus too. If memory serves, Zeus got tricked while the Straw Hats were fighting Big Mom towards the end of Whole Cake, and well, if we've learned anything from the Big Mom pirates trying to climb up that waterfall, it should be this. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I must work for Big Mom. But yeah, so this should be interesting. Personally, I think given Nami's knowledge and use of weather in her fighting style, she should get Prometheus as well. Now remember how earlier I said that something happens later in the chapter which would lead back to Marco? Well, this is it. After Usopp and Chopper land a hit on Big Mom, they decide to immediately hightail it in the opposite direction to draw Big Mom away. Now a few pages ago, Law reminded us that the only way to enter Onigashima by ship is the front entrance, which is where Chopper, Usopp and Big Mom are headed. It is also where Marco, Neko and his crew are headed. That for me is hella exciting. Marco versus Big Mom is a matchup that I don't think anyone called, but might just be the matchup we needed. Finally, we see Page One and Ulti interacting. Ulti is tired from him running ahead of her, but he could care less and tells her to search somewhere else. This infuriates Ulti and she launches at him, demanding a piggyback ride while choking him at the same time. The pair then tumble down a flight of stairs and land directly in front of the Straw Hat Captain himself. Dum dum dum. Now personally, I'm not quite sure what to make of this. A lot of the community I've seen so far is hyped for this, but for me, I'm just not sure that there'll even be a fight here. For one thing, Luffy knocking the stuffing out of a woman who we generally believe to be much weaker than him would be in bad taste from Oda. I know this is a story of piracy and Ulti is technically not weak, but I just don't buy that a serious fight is going to happen here. I mean, just look at the past behavior of the Straw Hat men. Sanji quite simply won't fight a woman for any reason. Zoro similarly avoids fighting women to the point that he pisses off Tashigi, and even when he does get serious in that fight, he chose to attack Monet without the use of Haki. Granted, Luffy himself did fight the Gorgon sisters, but even then it was because he had no choice in the matter, as he wanted to save Marguerite, Sweet Pea, and Apelandra. How do you pronounce that? Apelandra? Not sure. Back to the point. I don't think there'll be such cohesive forces at play here. And come to think of it, Zoro, Kid, and Killer should also be nearby, so there's just no way Ulti and Page One could even hope to win. Anyway, that was chapter 982, Scoundrel Meets Scoundrel. I found it really interesting, and I have a lot of things floating around in my head about what could possibly happen next. Definite 8 out of 10 for me. But what do you guys think will happen next? Marco and Big Mom are heading to the similar locations. Do you think Sasaki is done for good? How will Momo get out of his predicament? And what will Nami, Carrot, and Shinobu do about Prometheus? Lastly, how many of the Tobi-Roppo do you guys think will betray Kaido? The more I see them, the more I think all of them? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Stay safe, stay loved, and stay alive. See you on the next one. Peace.